is Business and Economy Network.
Hello viewers, glad to know you are watching your program. Those of you watching us in faraway Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ilorin, Sokoto, wherever you are watching around the world, this is your program. It is Business and Economy Network. My name is Peter Nwaochei. Well, for the program rundown today, we are looking at our program, the seminar we just had, titled The State of Infrastructural Development, and that's just what we want to do today, to let you know what stakeholders have said, looking at the challenges and also provide the solutions. It's going to be an interesting watch. I'll be back after this time out.
This event that seeks to address certain issues in the built environment of this day, because we're going to run into the early part of the afternoon before we bring this event to a close. We'll be listening to an array of distinguished speakers and eminent discussants on the issues that we'll be discussing this year. I am told, as some of us are well aware, that this is the third in the series of the seminars and workshops organized by Greenspring Group. And I was saying earlier, when you've done something and you've done it so well, you've earned the accolades and respect of your peers and contemporaries alike, you would ultimately seek for greater challenges and new heights, which is what Greenspring Group is doing here, having excelled in television and print media. They're creating this platform to bring stakeholders together year after year to discuss on issues that concerns us as a people and the way forward. There are two ways to address issues in the country. One, of course, is to sit and talk about it, and the other is to talk about it and do something. And Greenspring Group is doing something in this regard. I think they deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The first year, I am told that the seminar focused on the flood victims, considering the fact that a few years back we had a challenge with flood in our country. Following that, we had discussions that bothered on cost enumeration in the built environment. And of course, this year we're looking at the state of infrastructural development in Nigeria, with its focus on the built environment and the construction industry. Dilapidation, lack of maintenance, poor quality of work done, and so on and so forth, as well as some others who are excelling in the construction and in the built environment, delivering on best practices. And these are all the issues that will be discussed during the course of this meeting today.
Infrastructure can make a key contribution to enhancing the competitiveness of Nigerian economy, as well as improving the quality of life of over its 160 million plus citizens. The infrastructure challenge is a dual one, require more creation of physical assets, but we also need better institutions to manage infrastructural services more effectively. International financial institutions such as the World Bank are important strategic partners on both counts. However, in a country blessed with abundant oil revenue, their contribution in terms of knowledge may be least as valuable as any financial support, which as key development challenges facing Nigeria today. Infrastructure is only a means to the ultimate end of economic development. Thus, infrastructure agenda needs to flow directly from the economy agenda for Nigeria. There seems to be a widespread agreement that Nigeria faces its own set of distinctive development challenges. Through infrastructure development, we can address the following. One, through infrastructure, we can reduce unemployment. Secondly, we can broaden the growth. Third, we can improve competitiveness. Fourth, we can address social challenges. You agree with me today in Nigeria, the issue of insecurity is very, very topmost, the heart of everybody. While fifth, conserve water and other essential amenities. Now let us consider this point one after the other, if time will permit us. Nigerians suffer from particularly high unemployment rates. This is even worse among the youth and among the women. Strong demographic growth means that the labor force can keep growing each year, and the daunting implication is that at least 100 million jobs need to be created on or before the year 2020 in order to make any serious impact on the unemployment challenge we have in this country of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, secondly, today the major challenge to broaden the economic base so as to create more jobs and to invest the fruit of the oil bonanza into the platform for longer term growth. But this will require addressing Nigerian lagging performance in terms of competitiveness. With a large public sector and a strong tradition of centralized economic management, the private sector lacks the necessary dynamism to carry the economy forward. It has been proven. Nevertheless, the small and medium-scale enterprises today represent the main source of job creation and deserve to be supported with a more favorable investment climate.
Especially at this time in a nation where our infrastructure needs to be developed, redeveloped, maintained, and generally made more useful to the people. I'm sure that everybody who is there today has had to travel not less than, say, 10, 15 kilometers. And in doing that, you would have come across some of the issues that hopefully we'll be discussing today. The bad roads, or where the roads are good, the gridlock on those roads. KBC said it took him 2 hours from the end of the Lagos-Ekpe Expressway to here. Now that road is not bad. If anything, it's quite a good road. But it is gridlocked. What are we doing about it? Why do we wait until a road becomes congested before we look at what needs to be done to make it to decongested? What kind of forward planning do we have that will ensure that we do not wait for our infrastructure to become bad before we maintain it? The English have a saying that it's cheat in time saves 9. It means that if you have a little pothole and you fix it when it starts, it is much cheaper and faster to do it until that pothole becomes a gorge. Going from Western Avenue now to Apapa is now a nightmare. It's almost impossible. 2 things. The tankers are parked on the road. There are gorges on some of those roads that makes it almost impossible, but for the sturdiest of characters to even try to navigate them. Now, that the case of Apapa is actually a failure of 3 or 4 systems. Maintenance has failed. Infrastructure has failed. Transportation systems have failed. Why do we still insist on carrying all our petrol from Apapa to the other parts of the country by road? I was listening to the general manager of the MD of the Nigeria Railway Corporation, who was talking about how they now have the capacity to transport fuel by rail. But he also mentioned that the sidings that you need to go from the fuel tanks, fuel farms, to the main lines have not been done. So they don't have the capacity. It's one thing to repair the main rail line from Lagos to Kano, but if you don't do the sidings that will take you to the tank farms, you cannot transport the fuel. So these are some of the things that we are now coming together to reflect on the way forward. It shows that there is hope for this country. As a young engineer, even in government, we were maintaining the roads in various divisions. We were constructing roads within government. We were also constructing water supply and distribution systems. With time, this gradually disappeared because the culture of awarding contract started. And those in position of power were interested in awarding contracts than getting jobs done. We are having 200,000 vehicles per day. And the traffic of the heavy vehicles, commercial vehicles, was more than 60%. Today we are having, and that is when they increased it close to 4 lanes, 2 on each side. The plan was that you cannot build within 25 meters either way of the center of the road, meaning that the road will continue to expand. 10 years after that time, they ought to have added 2 more lanes, making 3 lanes on each side. Another 10 years, based on the increase in the traffic, they ought to have added another 2. So by now we should be having 10 lanes on 5 lanes on each side. What we have up to now, we still have these 2 lanes on each side, and they are not even passable because road maintenance there have disappeared. Contract has been awarded since the return of civilians 1999. We had a minister for works, Olowu, what's his name, who decided to buy equipment and build roads himself. He never did anything. Then came the next one, who awarded contractor were never mobilized, they never did anything. Up to now, even a few years back, the president went in all camera and everything to say that he's launching the reconstruction of that road. That was about 2-3 years ago. If you pass through the road, you know what I'm talking about. For me to get here, ordinarily takes about 4 hours from Ijebu to here, a journey that should take 1 hour 50 minutes. And on some busy days when there's accident on the road, it takes 6 to 8 hours. So it's, the state of infrastructure is horrible. It's really horrible. And that we are addressing it today, I want to thank you for bringing it to the limelight that we should do something about it.
I have a brief slide presentation. Mine is easy, my paper is not a content-based research. It's about what I do every day. So I have actually narrated it. I thought it would be a matter of brushing up the normal monthly reports that we do every month, and then coming in to present it. But at the end of the day, I found that I had to do a little more work on that. So here we go, and those are the few things about the company. Don't mind me. Now, we have this. We're going to present it as much as we can along these lines. But permit me 1 or 2 deviations along the way. I believe at some point in time, this
presentations is all in PowerPoint. We made available. This is textbook stuff, the case for good roads. Now, in talking about infrastructural development in Akwa Ibom State, we are going to limit ourselves to what we do, and that is design, construct, and supervise roads and bridges and drainage works. So we're going to leave out electricity and water, health and education. Even though along the line, we find ourselves as part of our project constructing primary school and secondary school perimeter fences for some of the communities as instructed by the client, of course. Now, this is a case for good roads, which, as I said, is like textbook stuff. Open up the hinterland for agriculture, for business, and then lower the